It's what? November 16th, 5:02 p.m. 2017. Okay. We're back with a bit more Grand Battle Rush. So I said, I guess like I said, I'd 100% the game on the channel, and that's kind of, you know, a thing we'd come back to every now and then. My Xbox One controller, the power button's kind of stuck in there, you see. No, like, cause sometimes I like, to get it, well, it's fine, it could stay in there, anyway. So this is something I should say. You know how I've said many times in the Funimation, I hate, like, I do like in the Funimation Don Krieg voice and Walpole voice, I find like a voice fit the characters, but it's the exact same voice, and that kind of like, you know, kind of like turns me off, you know, because it takes me out of like the thing of One Piece. You know, I hate when I hear like when I watch One Piece and I hear Dragon Ball Z character voices, but here, I've told you before, Don Krieg's voice is the exact same as Ake Ainu's. You know, it's like just the same voice, and. Like when you play Pirate Warriors, you know, you're pretty much hearing the same voice from the two. So I feel like I should at least say, like, you know, the Japanese, like, you know, version also does that kind of thing, you know. But, no, I was just like, oh, I'm pressing buttons and nothing's happening, you know. So I was like, maybe I just forgot. So what's up with you, bud? What's new with you? Well, you're playing that on your 3DS, right? You spent like an hour and a half in one room doing nothing.
Just how do I get the bombs back? I'm afraid I might have to start all of it. It's a happy ending I want.
Yeah, like the thing you're going for is not even like necessary to beat the game. But anyway, well, no, it's because you had a snow day today, right? Today's Thursday. You had a snow day, and I'm like, okay, let's you know, play some games and all that. Because we started Gears of War 2. You know, I want to play that again because I don't have the achievement for this my new, like, my current Xbox account for being it on Insane, and I do like going back to games and getting achievements. It gives me more reason to go back to games. A lot of games I wouldn't go back to if it weren't for just getting an extra achievement, you know. It just gives me a little goal. It's fun, you know. Like this game here, I'm going back because I want to beat the story mode, if you could call it a story mode, which on every difficulty of each character, you know, I want to fill that up. Otherwise, I would have done it once with each character, and then just done the David back fight a few times, you know, and that'd be it, right? But I come back, you know. But you had a snow day, okay? And then you're kind of like, you know, it's like, oh, it's my snow day, you know, you get to do what you want. I'm like, well, you have a weekend coming up. I was like, okay, let you do what you want to do, okay? So when I was going to the store to get some, like, groceries, okay? I was like, okay, I'll let Magnus do what he wants, you know? And then, you know, later we'll go and, like, do the things, you know, I want, alright? But you end up spending an hour and a half doing nothing. What's the problem. Or at least an hour. Like, once it got to, like, it was like 3:30 or 3:20 when I got home. And you get home usually around like 3:40, 3:50, okay, in the afternoon. Then it was like 4 o'clock, and I'm just like, you know, joking around, checking out the 3D on your 3DS with Majora's Mask. You know, I got a 2DS because it was way cheaper, and like the 3D was like not at all impressive. I didn't like care for it at all. And then I got a 2DS, new 2DS XL instead of a 3DS XL. Because again, well, this one was only $30 or $40 cheaper, but it was like still like I don't need the other one, you know. And I remember seeing at Best Buy or Future Shop, whatever it was at the time. I think it was Future Shop at the time. The new 3DS XL with Majora's Mask. And I was checking, and they were saying how like they improved the 3D where you can look anywhere. You know, like you don't have to like be focused in on it. Well, it didn't really work. So it didn't really work with me, so I didn't really care for it. But I'm just you're using like the standard 3DS that came out, and I'm just so amazed with this game. It looks so good, you know. probably just that one room we're in, and all the pause menu, looking at all the masks just like popping up, and I swear it actually looked like it was popping out of the screen. You know, some of it looked like the screen made it look like some of the like the room was like inwards, like the screen wasn't 2D anymore, like it was really like projecting a whole 3D thing. It was really awesome. So you know, I'm joking around with you, and then 40 minutes went by when I thought it was just like 10. Like I've have a like a mild fever, so my senses are a bit different, you know. But I did not sense that amount of time went by, you know. And then I looked at the clock, and I'm like, are you kidding me? We could have gotten so much done today instead of just, you know, you just going in and out of a room, you know.
Rare for me to get.
Rare for you?
Yeah.
Thanks. We're probably in a town that gets the most snow days in life. Remember what Issa said? He said, I remember you saying when we were this weekend, he said, I think he said he had one snow day in all of high school or something. I've had many snow days, you know, in my time through school. You get at least probably like 2 snow days a month, you know. Yeah. So another thing, I was making I'm looking at a bunch of my clips. I think I said this before, and I'm gonna make like some kind of like video of a bunch of cool scenes from like our captures from this game. The reason, but I haven't really been making videos because, or editing things because my mouse has been getting really just it's really not responding well. I meant to grab them, not do a yeah. Okay. You heard her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just come back down then. Or whatever. Okay, anyway. I think since last year, what happened was my mouse just like, it started with, I would click and it would end up like double clicking. Really focused here. Yeah, the TV sounds a lot louder now than So what would happen is, I would click and the mouse would end up double clicking. Actually, no, years before, at first, my mouse has, well, 5 buttons if you count the wheel, which, you know, many people would. I have, like, 2 extra buttons on the side, which are, like, I used to, like, which are, like, a back and forward when I'm, like, web browsing. Once it's good for, like, going back on a page and then going back forward on the page. Here. So one of them, one of them stopped working. I think it's the forward one stopped working, or is it the back one? Jeez, let me check. This is okay, the back one works. It's the forward one. It just does not respond. So I can go back on a page, which is helpful, but I can't go forward on the page. It just stopped working, and kind of sucked because that was when I was in TeamSpeak. That was the button I used to, like, for the mic to respond. And then now last year, that was like 3 years ago. Now last year, or 2 years ago, but now it oh my god, you see how much damage I did to him? What? Yeah? Did you look at the capture too?
Yeah.
Just you're not responding. You okay?
Yeah. You made him fall to his death.
Well, yeah, but you know, it's just. I wonder if Bon Clay could have easily kicked down Krieg and broken his armor with one kick, because you know he's a pretty strong guy, right? That's the thing. I wonder when I think of One Piece. I wonder if how, because you know the Straw Hats, you know, pretty much get stronger every arc. You know, I'm wondering. Do other people in the series get that stronger too in that same short amount of time also? So I'm pretty sure Bon Clay and Impel Down was stronger than, you know, Alabasta, you know. Especially when he wasn't really doing much, but of course I also feel like, you know, they're as strong as the author makes them, you know, in the next arc. That was awesome. Anyway, the mouse doesn't work well. The click-in doesn't respond well. Sometimes I'll click it once and it'll do it like a double click, so it gets to a point where it's so annoying where I'm trying to like just open or close something and it doesn't do it. Sometimes I close one thing and it ends up closing multiple windows or tabs when I just clicked it once. So also when I try to like highlight things and like slide them, that you know really does not go easy. I keep pressing the wrong thing. I want to do his bomb, but I keep doing it in the Grand Adventure version. Even though I've never played, I don't think I've ever played Grand Adventure on GameCube. Grand Adventure? Yeah. I'm positive it's on GameCube.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm sure I looked it up. The only reason we got you the PS2 one is because I saw it at the you know the Value Village, and they also had a PS2 that was better than the one you had. So I'm like, well, let's get that. You know, I'm like now like, oh well, we're not just gonna give him this game. We're also gonna.
And I got Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, does that one work?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have.
All my games work on
the PS2.
The slim PS2. The fat PS2, that thing doesn't work at all.
I honestly keep forgetting you have the slim one, because I remember like we were talking earlier, like, oh, like you want to play, you should play Jack and Daxter, and like, well, it doesn't, like, I can't get it to work. I'm like, oh yeah, your PS2 doesn't work well. But I'm like, I keep forgetting we got you the slim one. We got you the slim one.
Jack and Daxter is the only game that works on the fat PS2.
Oh, okay, so it's the opposite. All right. Which I loaned you our copy, right? Because, well, who else is what I loaned you? Right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you know. Oh, that's another thing I have to unlock. I have to do story mode with, or is it the? I think I have to do story mode with each supporting character. Yeah, to unlock their art, which that's gonna be annoying to know. Oh, I'm unlocking a lot of stuff. It's well, more stuff. I mean, there's 4 things, you know, and there's only a max of 3 support characters, so I just, you know, do each one, you know. Actually, I want to play as Crocodile. Let me check out Arlong. Who do I have for Arlongs, guys? Yeah, so that's why I'm not really, because I'm also. I started in September. Well, I wanted to do it for forever ago. Was my first AMV I made was of the Doflamingo fights in Dressrosa, and it was my first one, so it was a bit rushed and well, not really rushed, but you know, I kind of want to redo it. Okay, so I'm missing. Pepper. Let me see now. Oh, I'm also missing Kabaji and Pearl. Just use Pearl. Chu, Hachi, and Karubo. So, alright, so those are 3. Okay, so hopefully I can remember. God, we're already at 14 minutes. Alright, so let's do Pepper. Hold on, normal. Then we'll make it a little long this episode, okay? I don't want Or, okay, no, we'll do 2, okay? We'll have Usopp, and then we'll go to... I'll do Buggy and Arlong. Because I'm always like, oh, we'll make the time, right? And then it ends up being like twice or 3 times longer than we want it to be, you know?
I was upset at the beginning of this section.
What? Like generally, or because of something we did?
You did.
What did I do?
You lied to me.
What? So did you? I didn't lie. I was just like, let's go watch South Park. But I didn't say let's go watch South Park now. So how's that lying?
You'd say let's go watch them. You have to do it right away.
I also said this morning, let's go play Gears of War 4 and 2, and we haven't done not either of those.
Because I wanted to play Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask.
Anyway. But you also said that you didn't know how to get to the boss, or you weren't at the boss yet, and you were.
The boss. The way I wanted to get to it.
Yeah, but you still were at the boss, you know.
Hey, if I talk to
just stop there, man.
What?
Just stop. You are not gonna win that. Oh, you know what's just something? Were you there for that? When we were at our families during the weekend, and well, cause you know I say that we can't just go naming people, you know, who don't want to be named, you know. Well, one of our cousins, you know, had his girlfriend over, and you know, she doesn't really know, so she's like asking, actually, it was our aunt who was talking to us at first, like, she asked me earlier, like, did I go to school and complete French, or was it French immersion, or, you know, but I said it was like full French, you know, I went to full French, my entire life. Anyway, so when this is later, when our cousin's girlfriend was asking, she was talking to her older brother and asking him, by the way, okay, so there's 4 of us are brothers, okay, so I have an older brother, Magnus is here's the youngest, and we have one in between him and I. She's asking my older brother and I have both gone to full French school, okay? The third one went to French immersion at first, but then went down to just English, and you've only ever been in English, right? Have you ever been in French immersion? No?
No.
You don't remember? Or French immersion means like it's English, but they, you know, practice some French, you know. So it's not like full, like, you know, bilingual. It's, you know, just anyway. So, you know, she was asking, like, our older brother, does he speak, you know, full French, or like which of us do? And he said he's the only one. And I was like, holding up my arms like that, like, are you kidding me? I'm like, are you serious? And then he's like, well, you know, you've probably forgotten some. And I just spoke French, you know, like I can speak French whenever I want. And I, you know, swore at him and you know, everyone's like, oh, and all that. And like our other cousin was like, you just lost to your other brother. Don't lose to this one now, you know. And I didn't hear what the other fight was, but it's like, seriously, like he really has our older brother really has bad memory, like, you know, and stuff. But it's like, seriously, he thought I forgot my French, which it is a thing. If you don't practice a language, you do forget it, which I have forgotten a lot of French, and I never really use it. It's like, but that's because I don't ever go out and speak to people, you know. There's lots of people in our town that speak French, you know. But I also forget English easily too, you know. There's lots of times where I think of a word that, like, hey, what's that word I used yesterday or earlier today, and I'll just forget it, you know. And sometimes there's lots of times I just, you know, forget things, not like words, other things, you know. So it's like, it's, you know, whatever. But if I want to remember my French, I could just go, you know, watch stuff, or, you know, pick it up again, you know. It's not like the loss is permanent. Which I've been told that, like, by our second cousins, you know, like, who are laughing. This is when we were teenagers, but they're laughing at the fact is there's a lot of people who hate French, and like French people in this, like, country and all that. And it's like, you know, they're laughing at, like, you know, why bother learning French? You're never going to use it. Which is like, back then, it's like, yeah, I had to learn French because I lived in a place where everyone only spoke French. You know, almost no one spoke English. So it's like, yeah, I kind of had to. And I hate it when people are like that, when they say, you know, like, you know, just speak English, or they don't want to bother learning the language. They make it sound like it's really hard, or like going out of their way to do something, you know. When you do, it's like, it's just so interesting, you know. And learning about, like, different ways people say things. Like, Japanese, I don't speak Japanese, but, you know, I pick up on some words, you know, there's some words I know, over the years. But what I find interesting is that their sentence structure is completely backwards from English. And I'm thinking, how does this make sense to people when they're saying things like in the opposite order, right? Oh, I was gonna be like, thanks for standing still, but... Oh, that's wrong. I didn't even put my thumb near B. I was trying to do the other one. But, anyway. Oh, thanks for going the wrong direction. Guess I should have placed him better.
What's the point of that? I don't know why they changed it to English.
But see, that's the weird thing, okay? Because I guess they changed the impact. It's like Grand Battle at first wasn't, you know, at first when they did this one, you know, they didn't want to give away stuff from Sky Island, right? I mean, Crocodile and Bon Clay were hidden characters. You had to use a code or do something other to unlock them, right? But they did bring it back in Grand Adventure, because in Grand Adventure they gave him a third super. So they gave Usopp back the dial. But the weird thing is that they gave him kind of like a generic shoot and bombs thing, right? But he does that in Sky Island. It's when they're trying to drop... I'm sure I've said this before, but it's when they're trying to drop Giant Jack. And he's just doing that thing. The exact movements is what he did. Like, it shows it in the manga and the anime. Those are the movements he's doing. And I'm kind of like, okay, just replace the thing with another thing from the same arc that you don't want them to give away yet, you know.
Oh, look, it's my Halloween costume.
Which I really hate that, you know. I really hate how they, like, you know, took stuff out, you know. Because, like, what if they got up to there eventually and then people are like, you know, had that game, you know, and they had those characters, right? Like, I'm not sure if it's like they didn't want to spoil who the characters was, or it's because I don't know why, or maybe they thought it was like not a good thing to give that away, but maybe they didn't have licensing over the characters yet. I don't know.
They didn't have license.
This is like not something I'm really knowing well, but if you go and like look at like the Dragon Ball Z games I have, okay, a lot of the characters' names have a trademark or registered symbol next to it. So there is like, I think like Shonen Jump or Toei or something has properties over those names and like attacks and all that. Like, I'm sure Luffy's like Gear Second and stuff like that are also trademark or something. And whenever just things I've heard, when Funimation does One Piece, people say that they have to buy new episodes.
You could just straight up attack them.
Yeah, I know. So I'm talking, so I'm not really like completely focused. Which is weird because now that I'm on normal, that's when I'm having a hard time, you know. Anyway, I hear like they have to like, you know, buy more episodes. So I guess they have to like pay to register more episodes. So it may be something also with the characters. I don't know. But I don't think that's likely. I think it's more they just didn't want to show who the characters were yet, you know. What's with that big smile? Are you like, you're looking at me like I'm an idiot saying just dumb stuff? All right, am I?
I have an idea.
What?
Let's play pirate.
No.
Why?
Let's never do that.
Why?
Again.
Why?
Because we get so angry at each other.
Because I beat you and I'm better than you. You're gonna quit.
Oh. Remember when we were playing Halo yesterday?
No, that didn't happen.
Yeah, see, you didn't think that far back, huh? Oh, yeah. We played a Carnival, and, like, I was winning, then you just somehow turned the game over, right? Oh, remember Halo when you're like, oh, I bet I'm better than you at Halo 1. I just destroyed you completely.
That's because you have experience.
So do you.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You thought you could win. You thought you could win because you played the online more than me. But you forget, and I did play, you know, well, I played Halo 1 online on PC if I wasn't great at it, but I do, you know, play the campaign a lot. I know, I'm familiar with how the game is controlled and all that, you know. Also, like Grand Parts Carnival takes forever now, you know, to do one board. Oh god, I am not going to do this. I've just done that. That was all I had to do. Well. Oh, good.
Yeah, I think Usopp's totally gonna win this.
You know, it's also funny though, is that because like Mihawk is shown so early in like the show and all that, when in the 4Kids version, you know, of Grand Battle, Mihawk is less of a secret character than in this one. I mean, he's like one of the last 4 guys to unlock, right? Which technically is in the other one, but his way is nowhere near as hard as to unlock, and he's not one of the like the hidden code characters, right? Right? It's just funny, you know, how like he's just, you know, rare or, you know, whatever in the Japanese one. I honestly, I don't think we've seen much of Kuma's, you know, strength and all that yet. Like one thing I put in my mind is, you know, like a lot of stuff in One Piece having like strength and all that, things that like can beat other things, are a lot of like what the author, you know, wants to happen, and less of like, you know, pure like, you know, science and fact, right? But I'm just thinking, you know, a lot of the guys we've seen, like, cause Luffy and the Straw Hats usually win their or Luffy and Zoro a lot of them times win their fights because like they're pushed to their limits and get angry, right? And that's like when they, you know, fight at their best. And I'm just thinking, what if that happened to a villain, you know, like Kuma or something, right? Where they got like so angry and they absolutely want Straw Hats to, like, you know, to beat them, right? Like Doflamingo, I'm sure, got like that, you know. Where he wasn't like pissed off, he was calm, cool-headed, but he was like, you know, pulling out the big guns at the end, you know. Oh, and what's going on right now, Magnus? You want me to tell you?
No.
With, oh my god, the thing that is currently going on.
I'm gonna break this TV.
Why would you do that to me?
Spoil.
I'm not going to. Yeah, but well, do you want to explain that so I can focus on the fight? How you were reading it now and not watching it online anymore?
Read it online.
Thanks for that.
What else am I supposed to say?
Well, you could talk about how, you know, we were watching online, then we got down to Punk Cast and we're like, I'm tired of this. It took 2 episodes for them to, it took an episode for them to leave a room. So I told you, just read it online because it goes faster. And, you know, it's less, you know, saves time. But, also you don't have to wait a year to catch up to, like, what's currently going on, you know? But, yeah, if you can't even think of those extra things to say. Well, to talk about it, because you pretty much, this is, oh, crap. That's worse. God Usopp versus God Enero. Well, that's not a spoiler, is it? That Eneru's a god.
It spoiled it.
Anyway. Just, because, like, I was introduced, to One Piece through manga, you know, and then I watched the anime later.
Wait, what's up with the ears?
What?
His ears.
What? Why they're long?
Yes.
They've always been like that. You know that. I mean, Luffy called them earlobes. What?
I don't know.
No, I just want to know, is that it? Is that 29 minutes? Oh my god, I am taking forever at this. I used to think, like, you know, like, I think a lot of people, you know, people watch it because there's not much footage of Grand Battle on YouTube that's, like, such, you know, as good quality as this. Because I remember looking at, trying to look up some footage to see how the characters play, like, Enero, Aokiji, and Foxy, you know, and the differences. And I think I only found, like, 3 videos, and they were not good quality, and they were not long, and they weren't showing up much, you know. So I think that's like primarily like, you know, why these have so many views as they do, is because, you know, people are watching. But I'm like, I feel bad because I'm like, oh, there are probably people out there far better than me at this game, you know. Like, I mean, I never had like competition at this game to like learn from. Like, when I played Smash Bros on the 3DS, the reason I got better at it is because I was seeing what other people were doing. You know, same with well, Burn in Blood, I looked up online with how to get better, but there's some tricks you would see other people do, and then you can copy it. I mean, there's lots of stuff I learned from Grand Adventure when you put when you do the story modes where the bots are on like really hard and all that. But
out of lightning and get killed by
the box. But it's like, yeah, I'm wondering, you know, like, actually no, it was interesting. So when I played Grand Adventure, that game is really freaking hard. It's like, that game has made me so frustrated, okay? But I learned a lot of cool things, like, one thing that I remember, that's like, you know, like, you know when Luffy he stretches out his arm to grab someone?
yeah.
If you're on the side of that arm, you can actually grab Luffy. So like, instead of if you're not in front of the hand, and you grab it from the side, you can actually do a grab attack on Luffy from just his arm. Which I never saw in Grand Battle, and I only saw in Grand Adventure. Alright. Okay, next time though, okay, we're gonna stop this here and... Remember when I used to be able to get 3 guys in an episode, and now I only got 2? Yeah, I need you to speak more, Mangus, because I'm falling behind.
Well,
Not now, on the next episode.